idea that Pence would be there. I mean, it is such a far cry from thinking about that 4 years ago of him being here when he attended Biden's inauguration and Trump did not, or even just 8 years ago, seeing that moment and seeing what that dynamic could look like now.
Look, it's definitely notable, Caitlin. And as you note, he's planning to attend. He's traveling overseas right now. We will see what ends up happening. It's also notable that the swearing in is now being moved inside the rotunda. And so I don't know what the seating configuration is going to be like. It holds far fewer people than were expected outside. There's going to be a lot of jostling for seats. It is going to be significant to have him there. I mean, as you note, he is a traditionalist. He believes that it is important, as I understand it, for former presidents and vice presidents to show up and to continue on with this tradition. But it will certainly be an unusual moment, and it will be interesting to see if he and President-elect Donald Trump interact at all. They obviously did at Jimmy Carter's funeral the other day. This is a different setting, and it's also worth remembering Mike Pence ran against Donald Trump. He challenged him in the primary, and it didn't last very long, but he did attempt to try to preserve his view of the Republican Party and of conservatism as opposed to the MAGA movement.
Well, and Jimmy Carter's funeral was the first time that Trump and Pence had been in the same room since January 2021. And there was that moment where Pence stood up and shook his hand. He congratulated him, he later said, on winning. Karen Pence did not move. She did not get up from her seat to say hi to Melania Trump or to Donald Trump, speaking of the seating. But just the idea to see the two of them potentially in the exact same place where Pence was rushed out on January 6th, it would be remarkable.
It will be remarkable. And it's also, Caitlin, we should note that he was invited by the Joint Congressional Committee that oversees inaugural ceremonies. He was not invited by anyone around Trump. So I just want to make that clear. He was invited as part of past presidencies. And that is the capacity in which if he shows up, he will do so. But yes, this is, look, as you say, he was there for Biden's swearing in. That was 14 days after the attack on the Capitol by a pro-Trump mob. But this is the first time that he will be there in this moment while Trump is having his ascension. It will be a striking moment both for Pence and for Trump.
Based on your reporting, what will next week look like?
There's a lot of it that is still closely held, Caitlin, within the Trump team, but there are going to be hundreds of executive actions, I was told by one senior official today, within these executive orders. I do expect a number about immigration. I do expect a number about energy. And then there are going to be on a wide range of topics, but what's been described to me by a number of different people is that there are executive orders that basically cover every campaign promise that President-elect Donald Trump made at one point or another. Does he sign all of those? That remains to be seen. This is really going to be his choosing and not anyone else's. Do they do them all at once? That's been a series of discussions and in some cases debates within the Trump team. But I do expect there is going to be a lot on Monday. He's expected, as you said, to go to the White House after he is sworn in, at some point, not right away, but after he is sworn in, and start signing these executive orders. And I think that you are going to see activity around policy through much of the week.